A lot of people are still surprised. That's still surprised it's actually still playing for Enyimba.
That's a big question. Adubuike Igwekwe, you see a question that is going to return back to Warri Wolves.
Yeah.
So it's a big question. A player like Joseph Nathaniel is likely not going to return to Sharks. So for how long can we sustain this momentum? That's a big question.
All right.
So it goes to it's not about the national team. It's about the domestic league.
That's right.
So that we can begin to produce these guys after playing for the national team. They can still come back, and we have a very big issue here. Playing for the national team is a different ball game. Playing for the club is a different ball game. We knew the challenges we had last time when Mba played. If he comes back to Warri Wolves, he doesn't play very well. Yeah, when he goes to the national team, he plays his heart out. Right. And Warri Wolves is complaining that how can you be playing well for the national team and you don't play well at Warri Wolves?
Okay. Now, I'm going to come back to that. I would like to quickly chip this in. Now, we understand Gbala Salami has completed his move to Serbia. Well, we think he's actually playing the deal. But we're going to keep track on that and eventually let you, our viewers, know what the situation is with Gbala Salami. But you've said something very intuitive, very excited that we need to talk about. The Super 4 will commence on the 24th, 26th. The Super 6 now, that's what it is now, will commence with 24th, 26th and end in February. We're going to get to talk to you about that. 6 teams will be playing in that particular tournament. Remember, 4 teams that qualified from that won the MPFL are qualified to play on the continent in the MPFL. Talking about Kano Pillars, Enyimba, Warri Wolves, as well as Dolphin. Dolphin, remember, are going to be playing the Super 6, are playing on the continent as well because they came second in the Federations Cup. Will be partaking in the Super 6. The other 2 teams will be the 20 side and the 23 side. Now, this will give us an opportunity to see these Kano Pillars and the level Kano Pillars, Enyimba, Warri Wolves, and Dolphin, and their level of preparedness. Dolphin, we understand, took them a while to get guys in camp. For whatever reasons, they complained of salaries and all that. So we're going to come back to you to tell us more about the situation. But Samson Siasia, with the under 23 side, has the same tournament, has a similar tournament in Tunisia. That same period, rather. And he's saying that it will be difficult for him to actually honor that Super 6. And we understand somebody suggesting they come up with a parallel team and partake in the Super 6 and use another team to partake in the Tunisian tournament. I mean, to me, it doesn't make sense, Larry.
It doesn't. It doesn't actually make sense. And you would expect that it boils down to organization as well. I mean, if you're going to organize a Super 6 and you want your under 23 team to partake in it, when they also have a parallel, when they also have another tournament that is running, that's going to run simultaneously with the tournament that you want to hold here, which is the Super 6, then you would expect that either you shift the date or you don't accommodate the under 23 at all in the Super 6, you know, whatsoever. But as it stands, I don't know what decision will be taken eventually. The interesting thing is that some players who are in some of the other teams are even caught in the web of either playing for under 23
club or country,
or for their country. For instance, Kingsley Sokari will come back from United Arab Emirates now. He is qualified to play for under 23. He is also qualified to play for Enyimba. And so many of them like that, you know. So where does he play, Enyimba or under 23? So these are some of the questions that begs answers. And we can't give all of those answers here, unfortunately.
I'm sure the coming week will actually avail us a lot of answers. I mean, in a few days, we'll see what's going on. But Dolphin FC, we understand that they have the full complements of most of their boys right now. At some point in time, they complained that they had about 2. They even said that maybe the coach was far away in Tunisia or somewhere, doing whatever he was doing. But these guys will get to play on the continent. We've seen them perform woefully on the continent. Going to the new season, going to the CAF Confederations Cup, as well as the CAF Champions League, what do you expect? I mean, you said something. Money has always been a problem. Do you see this replicating itself this season again?
I'm tired. To be sincere, yes. We're in the period of election campaign. We're in the period where football is not in the mind of every government because these clubs are owned by government. Yeah. We're in the period where after the elections, we don't know the fallout of the elections. We don't know what will happen. We don't know who is coming on board and how important or how useful football clubs will be to that person's government. Because we've seen successful government. Nasarawa United is one of those cases in the past where we had a government comes, the other one comes and said, well, the Peru that you met is not the same Peru any longer. So you are to the extent of Israel. So I think that's the big case, so it's the big problem altogether. But then, in as much as we have little time to prepare before their first game against that's 13th, 14th of February, 13th, 14th, 15th of February, but they have a lot of time to prepare. We have 2 other, apart from the Super 6, they have 2 other competitions going on, like a pre-season tournament.
Yes.
One in the Abuja called the Gold Cup, one in Ibadan called the multi-sport tournament. So clubs, these are opportunities for these clubs to take advantage of. Try your new players as much as possible. You don't need to get a bloated squad of 35 players to prosecute the continental football. Like what they did, sent 23 players to CAF. They know they see what was wanted to prosecute the season with 25 players entire season. Both CAF Federation Cup, the league. That's the best way to go. So whether you are talking about getting a bloated squad of 35 players, you don't need it. At the end of the day, it's just a waste of money and waste of time, a waste of resources. So what you need, try to get a sizing number, the one that you think can prosecute the entire season. You can work with that. So I think for this club, they need to know, because this time around, they are going to work on a tight budget.
Yes.
This time around, the government pocket is going to be very shallow, not deep.
We expect a new
That's a new setting altogether. So I think this club should look at ways
of
to
cutting
manage
costs down.
the little they have, especially from players transfer. And for the clubs which players went to the World Cup, there is something that FIFA sent to them.
That's right.
Please, when you convert the money to Naira, know how much it's worth and know what you will do with the money.
Some of them are very
because
rich.
there's going to be a shortfall in government funding.
Okay. We should actually move towards seeing when government funding will actually stop in football. I'm sure Ken has said it at the beginning of the year that is something that we'll be looking at closely. Let some corporate guys come into the stage and see if they can encourage the guys locally. Having said that, let's talk about the Nations Cup that's currently taking place in Equatorial Guinea. Remember, Equatorial Guinea was more like a stopgap. But so far, so good. We've seen 2 games, a couple of games. We expect to see 2 more games today. And it's been fantastic, so to speak, level of play. Congo, Brazzaville played yesterday against Equatorial Guinea, the host. And some people thought that maybe Congo was going to overrun or outrun or outsmart or outplay Equatorial Guinea. It wasn't exactly the situation yesterday. The game ended 1-1 apiece. Congo had to struggle back to actually equalize in that particular game. The second game was between Burkina Faso and Gabon. I mean, you would have thought that Burkina Faso, losing finalists last season, last time around to the Super Eagles, would overrun Gabon. Unfortunately, it ended 0-2. Larry Pedal, you were watching this game.
Brilliant game we saw yesterday, particularly the opener between Equatorial Guinea and Congo. Congo, it was that stopped Nigeria from qualifying. They defeated us in Nigeria anyway, so they have a right to be there. And they have one of the best tacticians in on African soil called Claude Leroy. Having said that, it was the Equatorial Guinea that went ahead through Emile Insu. Plays for Middlesbrough, and it was brilliant for country. You know, they celebrated that massively. And Congo did all they could in the second half to come back into the game, and that they did through the former West Brom forward Thierry Bifuma scored the equalizer. And Claude Leroy came out after that to praise his boys that at least they didn't lose, but he had unsavory words for CAF. The way they allowed his team
they should put a sock on it, really. I mean, you should give Equatorial Guinea some kudos, really.
Well, I don't know what kudos Claude Leroy have for CAF, but he said they made them go through a journey that took just 12 minutes. They went through it for 65 minutes. And I likened it to maybe passing the old Oshodi and Moshi and traffic to get to maybe an Agege Stadium those days. And I think that was what they went through, you know, traffic and all of that. But as I said, a fantastic result for them. And then the second match was even more brilliant. Aubameyang, we've talked so much about him. He could have been the CAF African Player of the Year if not for Yaya Toure. And judging by the results, he was run out to Yaya Toure, and then he came up and then got the opener, and then they went ahead to defeat Burkina Faso. Pietropia missed a whole lot of chances, and not known for that kind of feat, judging by the fact that he was the best player last time out in 2013.